Hello everybody! It is hot and sticky and humid and actually kind of nice right here in this shade, but it's very summery, and I just went running and have a bottle of this open though, so I threw it in the fridge before I went running so that I could come back and just talk about this, because Telquel from Pierre, Olivier, Bonhomme. This is awesome. Kind of legendarily delicious, lovely vin de France from the Loire. So I'm gonna drink it and talk about it. Pierre Olivier Bonhomme, a younger guy who worked for Thierry Pouzelat at his family's domain, Clos de Toubouf, I guess when he was a teenager. And then Thierry Pouzelat started another winery because he just wanted to make more wine from bought fruit. There had been a string of bad vintages at frost and stuff at his vineyards, so needed to diversify anyway. And then Thierry Pouzelat sort of had to go back to full-time working at his family's vineyard because his brother was retiring. So Pierre Olivier Bonhomme took over the winery that the two of them had started, which was known as Pouzelat Bonhomme, and so now it's just Pierre Olivier Bonhomme. But he kept on making the same wines because why change it up? Why reinvent the wheel? He was already making a bunch of really lovely wines such as this. So, Telquel. This is mostly Gamay. The blend shifts a little bit year to year. Mostly Gamay, some Grollo. Mostly bought fruit from a pair of farmers that work organically, but Pierre Olivier started using some of his own fruit over the years, because he's been successful. He's slowly bought some vineyards here and there. So anyway, mostly Gamay, organically farmed, hand harvested, 15-day whole cluster maceration, fermented in tronconic, which was a new thing to me. Tronconic. It is a vat that's larger at the top and sort of comes down, so you can like have a big open top to work in, I guess, made out of wood. Ferments in them, and then it is aged in barrels for 6 months. Little bit of sulfur added bottling. I want to say 15 milligrams per hectoliter. But very much a handmade natural wine. Switch hands around here, so we've got sunblock on, but it doesn't smell that much, so hopefully it will not confuse me and I won't be like, this smells like zinc. No, it smells like Telquel. The name is a pun. The French name for dachshund is Telquel, something like that. So it's a pun on the, but also sounds like it is what it is in French. And then un poil d'une. I can't even read the script at the bottom. It means a hard hair. Some other pun about dogs. It's a punny wine. I do know, I'm a big fan of Asterix and Obelix, and I do know that the French love puns, but back to this wine. Speaking of hairs, my mustache is in my way a little bit here, like always. No, okay. It smells wild, it smells whole cluster, it smells very juicy and fruity, but also like spicy and vivid and like a tiny bit like furry and woodsy, brambly, like wintergreen, like spruce tips. It smells like the color violet. I don't know. Boy, it really, I've been drinking all those Georges d'Escombe Beaujolais and stuff, and this does not smell anything really to me like Beaujolais Gamay. Wow. It's juicy. It's so alive. It's so lively and dynamic and vivid and electric. It lights up my palate. It has really like vibrant acidity that makes the wine fresh and dynamic and everything, and makes it seem like it's uplifting and refreshing. What's the alcoholic content here? 13% alcohol. So it has this acidity and stuff, and it's refreshing, but it's so juicy. I love this. It's interesting because it tastes very handmade. It tastes raw and alive, but when you drink it and you actually sort of pay attention to it, you don't have to because it's so delicious and fun, but when you actually pay attention to it, it is really interesting, thoughtful wine that's layered and has a lot going on, that has interesting flavors. Like this is really cool, serious wine. It's serious in terms of how engaging it is and how good it is and how I react to it. But it's not the classic polished, refined tasting wine. It's really cool. I like that about it a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's got tannin, but it's not, I don't know. The tannin isn't the thing that I remember about the wine. The thing that I remember when I drink it, and the reason I go back for another mouthful, is how juicy and engaging and raw and delicious the wine is. 2020, this is a little bit fruitier than last year. I think it's a little bit fruitier and a tiny bit less like gamey than last year's vintage. Last year's vintage was a little bit more angular. The 2020 is a little bit more fruit forward. The fruit is really the core component of this wine. Is more so just slightly than the acidity and the tannin and the minerality and all of that. Well, this is fantastic. It absolutely lives up to its legendary reputation as being a beautiful, exciting, engaging, fun, refreshing wine. So Gamay from the Loire Valley, from Pierre, Olivier, Bonhomme. It's got a palette of it. So I got a whole bunch right now. I love going in and looking at all those blue cases stacked up.